What if you at a bar and this fine girl walk up? And he's like, "What's your name?" She's like, "Meemo meemo."
She sounds like R2D2. I don't know. Depends how good she looks.
I'm a beat boot right
I
back
was
to
about
her.
to say,
So
I might respond with the same thing.
Look, Mark Lock.
That's crazy, bro.
My life is a movie, but no acting, I'm happening. Drip too hard, I think I need a napkin, I'm splashing. I'ma make these millies, all this rapping, my passion. They used to make fun of me, what happened, who laughing? My life is a movie, but no acting.
Curtis Washington.
Yo.
Lexi. We're about to get into some weird stuff.
We like it weird.
Can be good sometimes.
Can be sometimes that's a real thing.
AI is kind of cool. Again, sometimes.
Sometimes.
There's pros, there's cons, there's ups, there's downs, there's things that'll help us, things that will hurt us. But beyond that, what happens when we're not creating algorithms and programming and we're creating organics, organoids, cyborgs?
Talking about life?
Life.
Playing God?
Playing God. So there's a lab, and I'm sure there's more than one, but there's a lab that recently grew brain matter that, kept growing, became a brain, started learning, teaching itself, had actual brain activity, consciousness, and started teaching itself things. No programming, no AI involved, just an actual organism, a brain, a human brain, learning, growing, and teaching itself things. Then
there's more?
But wait. They attach it to cybernetics, to robotics, to create a, as they call, organoid cyborg being that now is learning...
Cyborg.
That now is learning just by being attached to it. Oh, okay, so this is how I'll move the arms and the legs. And they're not telling it how.
That's scary. It's very cool, but it is scary.
So let's all watch this video together. It's about 2 minutes. And then let's discuss what the hell this means as far as we can imagine.
Let's get it.
Scientists might have just created consciousness by growing brains in a jar and connecting them to a computer made from stem cells that were stimulated in a special way to form neural tissue, which grew and eventually formed structures and even brainwave activity similar to that of a premature human baby. They then hooked up this brain into a computer, connecting it into a virtual world where it learned to play Pong completely from scratch. I want you to realize what this means. Like, this isn't a computer bot that was pre-programmed to know exactly how to play the game. That's easy. It's an organic brain that they grew themselves that was given Pong with no instructions, and it just taught itself how to play, which is honestly nothing new. That's just AI, but this is organic AI, which happens to learn quicker and is also more energy efficient than traditional AI. It learned to play Pong in about 10 to 15 rallies, when a regular computer AI would take around 5,000. Albeit the computer AI can simulate those 5,000 rallies much quicker, but that takes a lot more computing power, which is sorta our main bottleneck with AI at the moment. Energy. This is organoid intelligence. Take human brain cells, grow them in a petri dish, and then use computers to train them just like AI. Naturally, there are ethical concerns rising as there is surmounting evidence showing us that these are conscious, like a human. Even the scientists working on it themselves admit these organoids are sentient. They took it a step further and tested out these organoid brains inside real physical robots, feeding them the sensory input of everything the robot experiences. And since the computer chip running it is organic brain matter, this technically, by definition, is a cyborg. Then there are companies like Final Spark that let you rent server space on these organoid brains, which essentially act like organic CPUs. You can even see live streams of the brain computers you're renting out. And now this next part right here, what they're doing here might actually prove simulation theory. So they have this virtual butterfly simulation that's controlled by the organoid brains, meaning the brains feel and experience everything the butterflies do. Again, the brains weren't trained or programmed how to be a butterfly. Just like they did with Pong, they were just fed the sensory feelings of being butterflies and kind of figured out themselves how to flap their wings and just exist. Much the same way you weren't pre-programmed to walk or talk. You experienced sensory inputs in the forms of sight, sounds, touch, and learned, taught yourself along the way. This is an organic brain being fed computer data to make it believe it actually exists in a simulated world, and it's also likely sentient. This company essentially just created the Matrix for butterflies, and its consciousness is available for you to rent out. And when no one's using it, it still just continues to exist with no human interaction whatsoever. If the brains really are conscious, as the scientists suggest, they're not gonna know they're this organoid computer brain in a lab hooked up to a virtual simulation. They're gonna believe that they really are that butterfly. If that's the case, what's stopping all of us from being our own organoid brains in some lab in a different dimension? Meaning this, everything we see and experience right now is our own simulation that we've been plugged into, except we're not butterflies, we're humans. And everything we do, every decision we make is not by our own free will, but by some, I don't know, fifth dimensional entity renting server space in our brains. Just the same way the Spinal Spark neural platform lets us do. And when we sleep, maybe our idle brain computational power is used for other purposes, which we experience as dreams. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. You gotta sleep tonight. Are we really brain organoids?
Sheesh.
What?
That's trippy. That's a lot.
Let's all take a moment to soak that in.
I'm an organoid. I always knew I was different.
I'm different. What?
That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot to unpack. Let's start with just growing a brain that functions and has brain activity and teaches itself things. Let's start there. I think that's easier to digest first.
It's playing God. It's literally creating beings.
Yeah. And so there's always been that argument of like stem cells and all that other stuff.
Right.
Playing God and everything, cloning and all that. And people will always say like, oh, but it doesn't have a soul or it doesn't have a heart. The heart's just an organ, first of all.
We can grow that.
Right?
We can grow a brain, we can grow a heart.
Well, they do it, right? But people would say like it's a man-made thing that doesn't have a soul.
That video is talking about otherwise, though.
Right. So, like, of course, there's that conversation of what's a soul and, like, who assigns it when life starts, right? So, of course, the religion side of it comes into it for some people. But I guess this is the question. If we legitimately created life and something that has consciousness and is growing and learning, right? There is technically no difference between that organism and our brain.
As far as we know, no.
As far as we know and what they are capable of at the moment, it is very similar, if not identical. What separates us from that? The fact that it's in a skull and has appendages and stuff attached to it, or?
I mean, we're separated right now, but eventually, I think it's us, you know? Right.
So there comes a point where it becomes so much us, a reflection of us, that, you know, in 100 years and 50 years and 20 years and 200 years, whatever it is, how do we differentiate at some point? If this keeps advancing, like, how do we differentiate real from fake? Or is the word real even a thing? Like he said, like we always talk about, like he said, it's like the Matrix, and like we've talked about the simulation theory and things like that before.
Yeah.
How do you actually know or not know?
We don't.
We don't.
That's the thing, we don't. And then we go to sleep. It's like unplugging. We don't really know.
And that was interesting, the thing he said about what if when we're asleep, our subconscious brain activity is another dimension renting server space in our brain activity, like we can now do with this thing.
Also, the crazy thing is that being that they created, the butterflies,
it's a simulation.
It's still going when you're not looking, because
that's all that. So
that's trippy.
So like
what's it doing? You feel me?
All it knows, all that brain knows, is it's being told that it's a butterfly,
right?
Even though it's not. So, like they said in the video, it's being fed the sensories of a butterfly.
To believe it.
So it just believes it is. And while it's believing that it is learning how to exist as that. Just as children are born and are fed sensory things from their parents, from the world, from when they fall, from how a hot thing feels when you touch it.
Yeah.
They're fed the sensories and learn how to be a human. But who's to say that we're not being fed that? And if that's the case, does that mean cats, dogs, lions, bears, us are all things that were at one point the same type of organism that was being fed sensories of another thing?
And you say it was, but I think it's every day. Everything we watch, everything we listen to, everything we eat, everything we consume.
What the hell?
You know what I mean? That plays a big part of who we are, what we like, everything about us. Which is trippy to think about.
Just creating consciousness just bugs me. Like that phrase and the reality of the fact that we're actually doing that now. I can't like, as much as I'm interested in this kind of stuff and look into it and read about it all the time.
And it's so cool when we watch it on
and when it's in movies, we love it. But
shows,
now that it's
video games, stuff like that.
Now it's here.
But we can respawn in video games.
I can't like, my simulation can't wrap its head around it.
Facts.
Like I
Facts.
can't.
I always thought that though. Like we've talked about it, how we're an avatar, like a creative player and just living through life, but somebody else is behind the wheel, behind the controller. And we're finally getting to the point where we literally create it again.
Another layer.
Yeah.
And so what if, this just hit me. What if that's what the dimensions are? What if we keep talking about how everything's multidimensional and how there's more dimensions? What if we're creating the next one? Every time one dimension's inhabitants, so in this dimension it's us, maybe others, gets to the point where they finally get to the point where they create consciousness, we just created the next dimension.
And then drop some new organoids on another planet.
Yeah, yeah. And then when these ones that we create and are creating right now get to the point that we're at now, and they're running it somewhere else, a different planet or whatever here, hopefully not, and then they develop, you know what I'm saying? It just keeps going.
Facts. Let's drop them down here and watch them fuck each other up.
Said, but bro, what? What are y'all, man?
I don't know. Is the bottom line is we don't know. I hate when people act like they know.
But what does it mean? So like, cool, it's happening.
It's definitely happening.
But what does that mean? Like, will there be a point where in society, yes, the answer is yes. But when will there be a point when we're walking around, we're living life, we're existing, but so are they.
And we can't differentiate, like...
Ooh, and can we call them they? Like, what do we call them? Like, there's going to be that whole thing, too, right? Like, they're going to have their own little, what's it called?
LGBTMCU?
No, but, like, what do you say? Like, what's your pronoun? They're going to have their own pronoun, right? Of course, there's going to be a group of activists that are fighting. This is so crazy, that are fighting for the organoid civilization or race. The organoid race.
This is literally a sci-fi plot.
Bro, this is wild.
Yeah.
And this means they're going to be protesting. They're people too. They're people too. Like, what?
I mean, think about it. Like things like iRobot. You know, they're all controlling their robots.
Yeah.
That's becoming real. And then you ask it to do something, and it's like, no.
Yeah. Like with the Elon Musk fleet of robotics, that'll be out in a year and a half.
Facts.
Right. But those are more for like being helper bots for now.
That's what it starts as.
That's what it starts as. Yeah. And that was the point in iRobot too. That's what it was advertised
what it starts,
as. Yeah. Look, get your groceries and drive you around and clean your house.
Dr. Peppermeat.
Babysit your kids. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I always, when AI started creeping up, I was like, damn, society is in for it. And I've been saying since the fall last year, probably, like, we all need to really enjoy and treasure the next 2 years. I guess now it's a year and a half, maybe a little less. I've been saying that over and over and over again because the world that we know, the world that we grew up in, the world our parents, their parents, everything from the back end of history to now,
Facts.
It will never be a world without machines, a world without AI, a world without organoids. Like,
it's going to be a completely different world very soon. I mean, it's already been changing a lot.
Yeah, but
this integration of AI and technology and like creating life and organisms, like that's changing everything.
We're entering sci-fi.
Yeah.
We're officially. Like,
I'm here for it though.
Like our grandparents thought we were entering sci-fi with someone's face on a phone floating in front of us at any moment, right?
Yeah.
A FaceTime and cell phones in our pocket, laptops blew their mind. That wasn't sci-fi for us.
Can you imagine that though? Having
for them,
like
it was sci-fi.
A beeper, and now we like, yo, what's happening?
I gotta make a call. You go to
Right.
a payphone.
My dad, he in his younger days had to go. You know what I'm saying? Walk or ride his bike to a shorty house to holler at her. You know how much better their game had to be back then?
Yeah.
We just sent WYA ?
Actually, did their game have to be better? They made the effort to physically go. That's half the game already.
That's half the.
When all
you
you
lazy I am.
when it's
I would
easy,
never do that.
When it's as easy as a message, you really gotta be on point with those words. I think it's harder now.
WYA. The A can be switched for a D ?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's some people's strategy. But yeah, we're entering. Again, that was entering sci-fi for them. Jetsons, if anybody knows what that is. I didn't grow up watching that, but I know what it is.
I didn't really watch it that much.
Our grandparents, the microwave, the television, the phone, the lap, that's sci-fi for them. For us, that's like coloring. It's normal. It was part of life from day one. But where we're going now is truly like another planet. Like we're becoming Coruscant.
It's next level. Yeah. Facts.
Like truly. And I don't think people think about also structurally what that means.
Yeah,
like what
it's a rework of a whole society. Like
what are buildings going to start looking like? What are roads going to start? Are there going to be roads going to start being less roads? Like there's going to be a lot of structural, physical. The physicality of the world will be changing, especially since buildings are going to start to be put together by the robotics and by 3D printing and by
quick. And it's going to be way more like accessible. Underground tunnel. You see what Elon doing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to go see that.
It's a lot. It's I don't know. I guess long story short, let's all enjoy the world that we currently still have in our grasp.
While it's here.
Yeah, that us organics still. Oh man, that's gonna be a term.
Were you seen Altered Carbon?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Where their consciousness is just put into a chip, and then these are skins. They call it skins.
Mm-hmm.
And
an avatar, yeah. They call it skins though, yeah.
Pop that baby out, put it into a new skin. You 23 again, or you can change your race, your gender, everything.
Mm-hmm. There's a lab in Russia that's been working on that
really?
project. I think it's called Project Avatar.
That's wild.
Something like that. They have like a milestone every 5 years, all the way to year 2050, when they're supposed to be done, where they can take your brain and your conscious,
Futurama,
drop it in an avatar.
Futurama. Death by Snoo Snoo.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff coming, and let us know what y'all think, y'all's thoughts. If you guys have any other videos or articles or findings of what's been happening around the world with some of this tech and organoid stuff, shoot it to us. We'd love to talk about it, look at it.
Yeah. Hit us up. We are nerds and we love all this stuff, and now it's becoming real. So not sure how to feel about it.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
I want to see it, but at the same time, I wish we could just put it on pause. Like let's let the next. I don't know. Wait till I'm 70, then let me see it. Right
I mean, what if you at a bar and this fine girl walk up? And he's like, "What's your name?" She's like, "Meemo."
She sounds like R2D2. I don't know. Depends how good she looks.
I'm a beat boot right back to her.
I might respond with the same thing.
Look, Mark Lark.
That's crazy, bro. All right, well, y'all let us know. Are you gonna be dating some robots in a couple years?
You taking it down though?
Huh?
You taking it down?
Taking what down?
Beep boop, beep boop. What?
No.
Bad.
Bro, no.
Bad.
No, bro. No.
I'm taking it. I don't give a damn.
Ultra efficiency.
Bro. You download programs.
No, sir. That's crazy. But wow, yeah.
We gotta have my dog Jesse on here for that. The Fembot talk.
Yeah, he talks about that all the time.
He's passionate about it.
Oh my god. Anyways.
So about that weather.
Yeah. They're doing weather controlling too now.
Where?
They've been doing it, but now they're more public about it since everything's getting.
Wasn't there a movie about that?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but yes, there was definitely a movie about that. But that's what happened in Dubai.
Oh, really?
Well, allegedly, that's what happened
Allegedly.
in Dubai. They had never had rain like that in their entire existence, and all of a sudden,
I remember hearing
Dubai
about that.
flooded because they were pumping too much moisture into the atmosphere because they were trying to avoid a drought. They ended up doing the opposite of avoiding a drought and just flooding themselves.
The camera pans out. It's just storm, just like this, like
Crazy.
eyes wide.
But that's another. We'll get into that sometime. But yeah, please let us know thoughts, concerns, comments, compliments on this topic, and if you see some more, please feed it to us.
Please feed the beast. Like, comment,
Subscribe,
share,
all of that.
all that.
Peace.
Peace and love.